Hi viewers, this is Dr. Rajul Dutt. This lecture video is in continuation to my previous lecture video on wholesalers and their functions. In this section, I will cover about the retailers, their functions, and the various kinds of retailers. So first, let us understand that a retailer is a business entity who is responsible for the final sale of goods to the consumer. A retailer can therefore be a single person or an online seller. Retailing or retail trade involves all such activities which are related to direct sale of goods to the ultimate consumer. Meaning thereby, retailing is an act or the process of sourcing goods and or services from a manufacturer, supplier or distributor and selling them to the end user. In a way, retailing forms a direct link. Retailing is the distribution process of retailer getting the goods either from the manufacturer or the wholesaler or agents and selling them to the customers, consumers for the actual use. That is, in simple terms, retailing is the transaction of small quantities of goods between a retailer and the customer or the consumer, as the case may be, where the good is not bought for resale purpose. So according to Stenton, the definition says, retailing consists of the sales and all activities directly related to the sale of goods or services to the ultimate consumer for personal, non-business use. So here the non-business use is that it is being bought by the consumer as an end user, or which is being not further being processed or being sold for further business uses. So this is a non-business use, that is the end consumer buys it for the final consumption. Very important to note here is a retailer is an important link in the channel of distribution. He purchases and collects various kinds of goods from numerous sources and sells them to the consumers in small lots. Hence, now, if you look upon the various functions of retailing, so some of the key functions of retailing which are evident from the slide which you are watching is, number one is the collection of the goods. So the retailers purchase and collects goods from large number of wholesalers and manufacturers to meet the needs of the ultimate consumers. Now, consumers, we know they have got different and varied needs. For example, in any one category, for example, soaps. So they have got so many, they require so many varieties of products, which is being used by the consumers for their own specific purposes. For example, there are some soaps which are for good skin, which contains moisturizer, some are from germs, some are for good caring skins, so on and so forth. There are so many different types of products. So a particular retailer, for example, has to stock so many types of the variety of the soaps to cater the various needs of the customers. So this we have to keep in mind when we're deciding upon. Second is the storing. Now, warehousing and storing function suggests that warehousing of goods are one of the key functions of the retail. After procurement of goods from the wholesalers, these must be stored properly in stores, retail stores, before being sold to the consumers, because when the consumer reaches to the retail outlet to buy something, so the retailer therefore must be able to to look out or to grab the product which is being visible and easy for the retailer to to grab the product or to take the product and give it to the consumers. Third is the retailing is a spokesperson of the customers. Now, retailers also acts as spokesperson or agents of the customers. In a sense, they communicate the needs or the demands of their customers to the wholesalers and the manufacturers. Thus, they help the customers in getting the want satisfying products and help the manufacturers in finding the want satisfying products and help the manufacturers in producing the products which are desired by the customers. Another is the demand estimation. Demand estimation is for goods on sale must be done by the retailers. Appropriate demand estimation is the key in understanding the quantity or the inventory required to fulfill the customer needs at any given time. That means these retailer, because of for example, the paucity of the funds, cannot buy the products in bulk. Primarily with the the money is less, or the amount is less with the retailers, and they have to store so many products, and therefore it becomes very important for the retailers to get to estimate the demand for each and every type of product, so that as and when the consumer asks for the product of any particular product, the retailer should be able to meet the requirements and the demand of the consumers. Now, some are the marketing decisions the retailers have to take, because they are the final link between the manufacturer and the customers, and they are in direct touch with the customer, and therefore it becomes very evident to to look out for say certain things which pertains to the marketing area. This is yet another function of retailing. Proper retailing marketing efforts, both digital and traditional, are of vital importance to the success of the retail. The various marketing functions performed are: number one, the segmentation within the store. A retailer looks for the types of customers within the area, their demographics, their psychographic, and behavioristic characteristics, and then decides upon thereof the target customer groups and assess their requirements. For example, in a departmental store, the retailer or the owner separates, for example, the clothing into men's section, the women's section, the kids section, to meet the requirement of the customers. Second is product variety. The target customer's requirement will help locate the types of product and varieties to keep in store, and the important aspect of product mix, that is the line width, the line length, line depth, is studied and should be studied by the retailers. For example, we can take the example of, say, Archie's Galleries. It keeps various cards for every occasion, along with the gift items for the various occasions, which suits with the occasions. So therefore, they have these two things are very common if we go to the Archie's Gallery. Another important is providing is in the store ambience. The store inside the store atmosphere is very important to the customer. Now, once the customer decides to visit a store, the ambience and the layout of the display of various types of products should be such so as to provide comfort and relaxation to the customers, which plays a very important role. If the products are being displayed in any store, so it becomes very the consumer feels it, to explore upon things. If the things are being shabbily put up, it becomes the customers or consumers, they get confused, and the very motive of buying, or the very objective of buying, is then defeated. Another is the added value services. The retailer decides upon the services to be offered inside and outside the store, such as providing drinking water, washrooms, acceptance of credit and debit cards, and also outside the store facilities, which includes a proper parking, home delivery, etc. That plays a very important role if these added value services are associated with the retail outlet. Uh, and therefore, others could be are related to say other conveniences being offered to the customers, maybe some kind of coupons or the somebody some the salesmen or the salespeople who are there in these retail outlets should be able to greet the customers, should greet the customers. They ask the customers about as to what they require and to make them feel at home like environment, so that they may ask the salespeople there in the retail outlets, so that they can say, so that they can get as to whatever they require. Now, the next subtopic in this is the as to what are the important services by the retailers to the manufacturers and the wholesalers. Now, this is an important aspect. The retailers, what services do they provide to the manufacturers and the wholesalers? So, number one is the distribution of goods. Retailers acts as the last link out on a last link and outlet for distribution of goods. They connect the wholesalers and the consumers. Second is ascertaining customer needs. Retailers have direct contact with the customers. They help the wholesalers in ascertaining customer needs more accurately, because they are in direct touch with the customers, and whatever they get they know the pulse of the customers, and they move forward it to the wholesalers, which is again being moved to the manufacturers if certain changes are to be made, or there are certain problems with the product, or there are the other things which is associated with the which is hampering the sales of the product, is being communicated to the wholesalers and to the manufacturer, therefore, so that the rectification, if required, can be done. Next is providing information. On the basis of the first-hand information about the likings and the preferences of customers, the retailers advise the wholesalers and manufacturers to introduce necessary improvements in their products and relieving from the difficulties of small sales. Retailers relieve the wholesalers of the botheration of dealing with large number of customers having different background. So that mean because the wholesalers they work in close connection with the various number of the customers, various with the retailers, and various numbers of the retailers for that matter. And these retailers, they help the wholesalers because they in the retail outlet, the retailer has to face so many very types of customers with very types of problems, and they're looking out for various solutions for their requirement, for their problems, or to say to the need they have. They want to remove the hindrances of these requirements so that they get satisfied. Second aspect is the services by retailers to the consumers. Uh, this is in this the important aspect. The first aspect important is the supply of goods in small quantities. A retailer makes available to the customers all commodities in smallest possible quantities. The customer need not store the goods. Now the customer, they have got, if we divide the customers, in Indian context, it is being lower class, middle class, and upper class, and therefore on the basis of their economic conditions, they have been divided into three basic categories. Now, it is very difficult for the lower class and the middle class to store every product they require, or every, say, goods they require. So, they're generally required in small quantities, which is being done by the retailers. The retailers helps the consumers to buy them in small quantities. Number two is large variety of goods. A retailer keeps large variety of goods manufactured by various manufacturers. The consumers are offered a wider choices, so that when when they visit any retail outlet, they should be able to find the product, or the retailer should be able to give any product the customer is requiring to satisfy his or her needs. Another is, say, advice to the customers. A retailer gives advice to the customers to help make a choice of products and uses and benefits about the products. So the retailers, again, they counsel, they advise the customers, they suggest the customers of the various features or all the benefits for that matter to the customers, so that the customer is, if not having a full information about the product, they get satisfied and they finally ask for the products. Uh, Another is the important aspect related is the retailers helps to the consumers as far as home delivery is concerned. The credit facilities been given to the consumers. The customer conveniences should be present there, etc., and other features, so that the customers, the problems of the customers can be taken care of then and there. Now, important is coming up as the kinds of the retailers. So all the kinds and types of the retailers, they are being broadly classified into two basic categories. One is the small scale retailers, and the other is the large scale retailers, on the basis of the amount of money being put, amount the facilities being associated with the retail outlets. So they have been categorized and into two basic categories. The small scale retailers, again, they are being categorized under two basic categories, that is mobile or itinerant aspects, and the number two is about the fixed shops. So in one of the taking say one, let us understand very quickly as to what these all types of retailers means to us as a student of marketing. Number one is the peddlers and hawkers. Sale by peddlers and hawkers is of very old origin. They sell almost every article on daily use, from house to house, on the heads, and carry a thalas. They usually carry the thalas, and they, for example, the vegetables are being sold, some pakoras are being sold, say fruits are being sold. So these are generally being categorized as the peddlers and the hawkers. Second, another category is the street traders. Street traders operate near a busy place like the railway stations, bus stops, cinema halls. They set up their small shops temporarily, and they sell their products at relatively low prices. Street stalls, and these are located at the street of crossings or in busy streets. This is again an associated with the street traders, and these holders generally deal in cheaper products like toys, pens, hosiery products, etc. Another is the market traders. So these traders keep on moving from place to place and sell their products at different weekly, fortnightly, monthly markets or bazaars, or at annual fairs. They also operate in the vacant front verandas or fixed shops when the shops are closed. Now, this is the general we see, these market traders, they move from one place to another in order to look out for the customers and so that they may conveniently sell their products. Another small scale retailers category is the fixed shops, whereas the general stores. The general stores are set up in residential areas, and they stock all kinds of products needed by the local residents for their daily use. A general store is owned and managed by a sole proprietor who keeps personal contacts with his customers. The general store may be single line store or a multi line stores. For instance, medical stores deals in medicines only, stationery stores deal with stationery, and so forth. Another is the specialty stores. Specialty stores take the specialization practiced by the single store lines, that is one step further. If a shop selling ready-made garments, single line store, deals in children garments only, it is called a specialty shop. Specialty shops are generally located at the central places only so as to attract large number of customers. And another category in the fixed shops is the second-hand goods shops. Uh, these stores deal in second-hand or used goods like books, clothes, furniture. Person with modest means can make purchases from these stores. Now, the another category of the retailers which we have, which I've mentioned as the large-scale retailers, contributes among these are the uh, say various types of stores like departmental stores, multiple shops and malls, mail order businesses, uh, say consumer cooperative stores, supermarkets, hire and purchase shops. So let's discuss from one by one. Now, what is a departmental store? The original of the departmental store took place in somewhere in, it started with in Paris in France in the mid 18th century. These on those days, like for example, the departmental stores became very popular in many other countries also. So, however, if we look upon as a departmental store, as a retail institution that handles a wide variety of merchandise grouped in well-defined departments for purposes of promotion, services, accounting, and control. A departmental store in a large is a rather large scale retail organization having a number of departments under the same roof. Generally, if you look upon, every department confines its activities uh, in terms of for a particular product line or a business. These departments are generally organized and controlled to form a single establishment. Second important is the multiple shops or the malls. These have come up in a very in the recent times when we see about these types of situation where there are multiple shops associated providing various or satisfying the various requirements of the customers, and these are being called again being called as say multiple shops is any kind of product is available under one roof. Generally, the high brand products are being displayed and are being sold under these department multiple shops or malls. Another category is mail order business. Now, in mail order business, mail order houses are the retailing enterprises which carry on the business through mail. So, what happens in this is the mail order business is known as selling through post for the retailer and the shopping by post by for the customers. Under this, what happens is discussed earlier also. The retailers contact the prospective customers through some sort of advertising, and advertising then carries through the press is carried down by the press rather, and or by sending leaflets and catalogs giving the necessary details of the product. Mail order houses maintain, therefore, the mailing list of the potential customers. They send literature, and the customers they order their book, they order their products and get it through mail, and the payment is being then maybe cash on delivery aspects and so forth. Now, consumer cooperative stores. Consumer Cooperative Store is again an organized under Cooperative Societies Act and is owned and operated by consumer themselves. The capital of the store is provided by the shareholders of the who have the group of people who who joins together to put up these cooperative stores. The membership of the stores is voluntary in nature, and the aim of the store is to provide services to the members and to and not for the maximization of the profits. The establishment of the consumer cooperative store is an attempt to eliminate middlemen who increases the cost of the product for the consumers. And another is the supermarkets. Now, when we talk about supermarkets are is a place where, again, where it is being done on cooperative basis rather, and the price controls are applied there in the supermarkets, or we can call it as the fixed price shops are there, and generally it is being governed by the government and the people, and these in order not to exploit the customers, the supermarkets are being governed, and particularly household products are being sold there. Not You do not find much of the premium quality products, but yes, of course, the intention or the market area, if we talk about in terms of market, they look out for a lower middle class and a middle class people who buys without the products without on fixed prices without bargaining. Again, is a higher purchase shops. Under the higher purchase systems, the buyer gets the immediate possession of the goods without paying the full price for them. The customers only pays part of the purchase price at the time of entering into the agreement with seller called the down payment, and agrees to pay the balance in installments, which may be monthly, quarterly, or let's say yearly, whatever, as per the conditions or the mutual agreement being carried out by the between the customers and the retailers. So that's all in this video as far as retailing is concerned. Thank you.